I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite of all time. It's so
Jerks
great.
on the right.
Jerks on the right. You don't speak for me. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
A lot happening today. You all right, Mock? You okay?
I'm okay. Just
Hanging
need
in
this
there?
week to be over.
Okay.
Really need it to be over.
All right, you guys. Coming up on the show today, Elon and Trump have an X space sesh. It broke Twitter. I think it kind of broke Twitter, and it broke liberals, really, which is the most important thing. And we're going to break that down for you. The media's new word of the day: momentum. Plus, Trump triumphantly returns to Twitter, and he has a new ad. All that and so much more coming up on today's show. Make sure you're subscribed to all the things. You can do that by going to chicksontheright.com/links. Click subscribe on our podcast if you haven't done that. And make sure you're checking out all of our socials. Join our locals group too, or our Facebook group, our insiders group. This is like your community, everybody. Welcome to the community. Also, visit knowyourriskradio.com for your free common sense investing guide. See what he did there? The sense, you see? Our good friend Zach over there at knowyourriskradio.com can help you out with all things money. So do it. And I don't think it's going to be a very long show today. I don't think it's going to be a 2-hour show.
It's not going to be a long show today, you guys, because I just can't.
It's a week. It's a week from it. It's definitely a week.
So it's going to be a perfectly sized show.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be a terribly long show. So if you have things to do, don't you worry. You're going to get all your stuff done today because it's going to be a normal show today. So, yay. And yes, we're going to get into that whole Twitter space or X space or whatever you call it. We're going to get into all of that and so much more, as Daisy pointed out. And as always, we're going to kick it off with a few shares of some Venmos that we got after the show yesterday, which we of course always appreciate. Stacy Smith sent this and said, Dana Bash is looking more and more like a bad version of the Joker every day. She does have a very long face.
Yeah, kind of John Kerry-ish.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of a John Kerry face going on.
Why the long face?
And then our good friend Dana also sent us a little note saying, hi, beautiful chicks from Idaho. Hubby and I are RVing for the summer, so I put you in my tool belt to listen each morning. We have visited 8 states and 2 Canadian provinces. Take heart. The silent red majority is alive and ready to vote. Love y'all.
We love you too, Dana. That sounds
Love
fun.
that.
8 states and 2. That sounds so, God, I want to go RVing. That sounds so much fun.
I know, but like the positivity.
I know. It's great.
It's the positivity. I am all about that. Saw something hilarious on X yesterday, and that is, so you know how like the left has been so reliant on fact checkers, right? Like they want to fact check everything. And now it's so interesting because I've noticed that if a Democrat gets fact checked, it's an attack. So this is how they position it now. Oh, wait, actually, before I get to that, let me just show you this from Scott Presler, because also this was hugely optimistic. He said, I know many of us have been watching socials and feel that Kamala has the momentum. The data says otherwise. In the last 3 weeks since they replaced Biden, Republicans have registered more voters than Democrats statewide for all 3 weeks in Pennsylvania. So that's good.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great. This is why you can't trust polls and all that kind of stuff. I really I don't believe a word that these people say. I don't.
Okay, so the back to the fact checkers. This is an actual headline from PBS that says fact checking attacks on Walz's military record by Vance and other Republicans. So now if you fact check something, you're attacking. And this has never happened.
Well, on
you know what I mean?
if it's something that we're saying facts and giving data that's against them, then it's an attack. But if it's something that on their side, against their side, it's of course an attack because these people can't take it. They can't
Isn't
take
that
the data.
hilarious? I could not.
Yeah.
When I saw this, I was like, you got to be kidding me. So now if you fact check someone that's a Democrat, it's an attack.
Right.
But then they can spew out all the fact checks they want, even when they're not right against Republican. That's never an attack. That's just simple fact checking. It's just so funny, the difference, right? Like the smallest differences in semantics are just, they're
total pansies, man.
Oh my God. And then CBS. So back in June 17th, they tweeted, former President Donald Trump's vow to stop taxing tips would cost the federal government up to $250 billion over 10 years, according to a nonpartisan watchdog group.
Oh my gosh.
And then fast forward 2 months, Vice President Kamala Harris is rolling out a new policy position saying she'll fight to end taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Yeah, but listen, it's crazy. But listen, they're not engaging in propaganda, you guys. Not at all.
They're not. I don't know why you would ever say that.
Yeah, you should just believe them. Believe everything they say. Yes.
I got mad. And so when I saw that more recent tweet from CBS, I was like, how do you even say that without mentioning that she stole the policy idea? They just put it out like, oh, look at her with this new policy position. Look at her.
It's new. It's
new. God.
Yeah. Fact check that. Somebody fact check them.
That made me so mad. I cannot tell you how mad that made me.
It should make everybody mad. But liberals are like, this is new.
She's so smart. Oh my God.
So smart.
Also want to remind everybody about how delicious Field of Greens is. This is the green health powder. It looks like this. This is my favorite flavor. Wait, there we go. Field of Greens. This is the wild berry flavor. It tastes like a blueberry drink to me. When you take a scoop of this, you put it in some water, you mix it up really well, and you have yourself a delicious fruit beverage that also increases your energy. It actually improves your health, and they have a guarantee about that if you don't see better results of the doctor, you can get your money back. And we got the most lovely testimonial from one of our followers who said, wanted to let you know, I just ordered my second jar of Field of Greens. Love it. I'm sleeping better and waking up feeling great. More energy throughout the day with no mid-afternoon nap. Looking forward to my next blood test, which you should, because again, it's a money back guarantee that if your doctor does not notice a difference from you before you started Field of Greens and after, you can get your money back. That's how awesome this stuff is. And the deal breaker for me was like, it's got to taste good. Otherwise I won't use it. You know what I mean? But like, I like it so much that sometimes I do it twice a day, and I don't even know if you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
But she does it anyway. She's a rebel.
I do it anyway. So check it out. You can get 15% off plus free shipping when you use code CHICKS at fogchicks.com. That's FOG chicks.com. Don't forget to use code CHICKS and you'll get that discount. All right. Another thing that happened is that this happened. A new time cover of Kamala. Her moment.
It's her moment, you guys. Yeah, it's like, hopefully it'll last like 2 seconds. Bye.
Well, and Glenn Greenwald put it very well. He said the way the U.S. corporate media transformed her from a national embarrassment to a transformative pioneer overnight without even pretending to care about anything she thinks or believes is a powerful testament to how potent the science of propaganda is.
That's exactly right. Yeah, he just perfectly encapsulates everything that's happening right now. And there are sheep that buy it.
Yeah. And if you need any more proof that this is propaganda, look at how different these two covers are.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's just unbelievable, isn't it?
Like, you just can't make this stuff up, you guys.
No. And people think that they still live in a republic.
I know. It's so sad.
We don't, you guys. We don't. That's proof right there that we don't.
I mean, it kind of is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, for that puff piece for Time Magazine, because of course there's a corresponding article all about Kamala, she declined to be interviewed for that. That's how this strategy for the Kamala campaign is going. They're just hiding her. They're hiding her.
She's afraid of friendlies.
Yeah.
That's bad. When you're afraid of the friendlies, you're a complete and utter coward.
I mean, that's pathetic.
And do you remember, listen, we talked about, it was a long time ago, I think, that Axios article that talked about how she was afraid to do that dinner.
Yeah.
Remember? She was afraid to do a dinner. Yeah, she was afraid to do a dinner with I mean, I think they talked about, it came out in July. It was an Axios article in July. And they talked about how she was afraid to do a dinner with a bunch of journalists. And so they did a mock dinner with her team. And they were like, should we do it with wine? Because she's so afraid, because she had such crazy anxiety over this dinner with a bunch of journalists. And then they bagged it because she couldn't do it. Remember?
Oh my God.
So, I mean, she's afraid. She's completely afraid. But this is the stuff that, of course, Axios reported on it in July, but nobody's going to talk about that stuff now. And you think that she can handle Putin and Xi?
Oh
Holy crap. Yeah. She can't handle a dinner.
Nope, she cannot. There's good news in the world of sort of, I guess, campaigning for Trump. And that is something that you sent yesterday. It was from the Daily Mail. Barron Trump's best friend is a conservative influencer by the name of Bo Loudon. And he's very interested in helping Trump secure the Gen Z vote. So they're the reason that they did that live streaming with Aiden Ross. What was that, last week or the week before?
Last week. Yeah.
This is totally because of Barron and his friend, who are in, obviously, Barron's dad's ear, saying, this is how you get our age group. You need to be in front of this age group. And just to give you a picture, first of all, of how tall Barron is.
Oh my gosh. Night and day.
Look at them.
I know, right? Two cute boys.
Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
And I did love this other picture of Bo wearing this shirt that says BLM, Biden loves minors.
Oh my God. Just unapologetic. I will say, I think that Gen Z, because my daughter's a Gen Zer, right? Isn't she a Gen Zer? Yeah. 14 is a Gen Zer. Everybody that my daughter hangs out with, I would say, is pretty conservative. They're all,
same with my boys.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like that generation, there's hope, you guys. I think they're more like Gen Xers than millennials. It's like it skips a generation or something. Like, she's just so no nonsense about it. And I know that your son is too. It's just like, shut up. Like, quit being such a weirdo. Like, the woke crap doesn't appeal to them. And so they're more like this. And so there's hope. I feel like there's hope.
I hope so. I hope there is hope.
Yeah.
Before we get into sort of the nits and grits about the Elon Musk space with Donald Trump, we need to talk about what happened during the day yesterday in advance of it. And that is that one of the EU commissioners, this guy, Thierry Breton, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but Thierry Breton sent a huge letter to X, to Elon Musk, to Linda Yaccarino, all of them, saying, with great audience comes greater responsibility. Okay. As there is a risk of amplification of potentially harmful content in connection with events with major audiences around the world, I sent this letter to Elon Musk. And you're not going to be able to read it because it's way too small. But essentially, it's a letter threatening punishment and consequences if Elon allows Donald Trump to have that platform.
Oh my God.
And says something that this guy doesn't like. I mean, it's so commie what's happening.
Completely
commie. So Linda responded and was like, this is an unprecedented attempt to stretch a law intended to apply in Europe to political activities in the United States. It also patronizes European citizens, suggesting that they're incapable of listening to a conversation and drawing their own conclusions.
Since when did these people tell us what to do?
Didn't we have a whole war with them?
We absolutely did. So he can suck it. And
my God.
Are we sure that's a man? Did you see his picture?
I know.
It's like
he's a very squirrely little dude.
He's very squirrely. Yeah.
And just to summarize that letter, David Frost wrote, not everyone will necessarily have the patience to plow through this Euro speak. So to be clear, the EU is asserting the right to censor or block X or punish it after the fact for broadcasting that live interview.
Yeah. How about F you? How about F you? Yeah.
Which is pretty much what Elon said, because this is what he posted. I love that he was like, to be honest, I really wanted to respond with this Tropic Thunder meme, but I would never do something so rude and irresponsible.
Again, red-pilled Elon is my favorite Elon. I'm here for it, you guys. I'm here for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Literally F your own face.
Yeah, take a giant step back. You don't get to do that. You don't get to tell us what to do and what to say.
Oh my God, I love this so much.
Take your tea and crumpets and shove them up your butt. You don't get to do that. Yeah, and all the D's nuts, all of them. I cannot with these people. Like
Isn't it just the best.
There are liberals who agree with this garbage.
Oh my God, they get and we'll have like, one that's for the Washington Post. We'll show you a clip of that in just a minute. I mean, the people who are supposed to be journalists are like, how do we get this shut down? Oh my God.
What is even happening in our country? And they're like, we're liberals.
Right.
Okay. My God.
And then Kamala is trying to make her whole campaign about freedom. Give me a break.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
God.
It's crazy. The gaslighting.
Laura Kate Baker, thank you. She says, Daisy, love your hair. Mock, love your pigtails. Hugs.
Thank you. There's so many pins in it. I just couldn't deal with it. I'm like, I'm putting it up, you guys. I'm putting it up. Thank you.
Cindy Douglas says, Mock has been packing because it looks empty behind her. I have indeed packed a lot of the little trinkets and stuff that people have given me, but I'm trying to get it like to a place where in a month or so it'll be more showable, which it's got a long way to go. But I'm trying to just pack some things now to just get things out of the way. So yeah, some of my stuff is packed. GCQC says, I love your hair, Daisy. Don't cut your bangs.
I won't cut my bangs, but but man, I'm at a place where like, when you're growing your hair out, you're like, should I cut it? Should I cut it? It's in the mid stage and I'm going to be wearing it up.
Everybody says it looks so good up. That is how come I know you could get away with short hair because look at your face with your hair up.
Wow.
You can tell.
That's sweet, but I'm just not going to cut it. I'm going to wait like 6 months and I'm going to see if I can get through this stage without like literally hacking it off. You guys, we'll see. Pray for me.
And then Eugene Heiger says, we went to vote early yesterday and the polls were full. Wow.
This is great. This is really good.
Interesting. All right. Before we get into the X Spaces and the clips themselves of that and all of the stuff, the hullabaloo that was happening before that, I want to also remind everybody about how amazing this product is for dogs.
Oh my God. And cats. Dogs and the kitties and the horses.
And horses.
All of them.
And people too.
Yeah.
Coat Defense, you guys, if you've never heard of this product and you have dogs that you've had to take to the vet or cats or horses or whatever, if you've had to go to the vet because your dog is one of those dogs like my Maisie who's allergic to everything and who's got skin irritations and wants to chew on her feet and like she's always got like all of the things, right? And it used to be that I would take her to the vet constantly and just think this is my lot in life to spend a lot of money on Apoquel. And then I find Coat Defense and I realize how easy it is to just take this preventative powder. You just pour. Oh, I didn't realize it would spill out.
It's all over our keyboard now.
It's all over my keyboard now.
There you go.
But you just take this and you sprinkle it right on their toe beans. You can sprinkle it on their bedding to actually help deodorize. You can sprinkle it all over their fur and just rub it in. And it helps with a lot of the problems that lead to skin irritations. It's preventative and it also works as a treatment. It's amazing. And they also have shampoo. They have balms for dry noses and dry toe beans. They've got wound care ointment. They've got so many great products. And the shampoo actually was created for humans who just didn't want chemical exposure. And so they have a human version of their shampoo and a dog version of the shampoo. And it's great because it doesn't strip your dog of all the oils that they need on their skin to keep their skin healthy. So, and it works the same for humans too. So a fantastic line of products. Check them out at coatdefense.com. When you use code CHICKS there, you're going to save 15% off of your entire order. Coatdefense.com. And thank you, Brian Price, who says, my age, 29, and everyone I know are fiscally Republican, but have to be Democrats because of the social issues. I don't know a single person from that age group that can stomach Trump. That is very important feedback. And I hope people don't just like pile on Brian, because he represents the very people that, you know, that I worry about, that like are so just turned off by Trump, that's the stuff that makes me wish Trump would like back off of some of the dumb stuff that he says and just focus on policies, which he's so good at. And by the way, Brian, he's actually really good at the social issues too. You actually just need to get through the garbage to listen to what he thinks about the social issues, and you'll see he's actually very, very strong, particularly on LGBTQ issues and the
totally.
Like. So I hope that you listen beyond just the noise and actually look at his policies and remember what he did before COVID during his first 2 years of office, how good things were and how you could afford everything. I know you're fiscally conservative, but the social issues, he's fine. I promise. I hope that you know, even listen and convince others.
Even during COVID, I mean, there were some merits there for COVID. I mean, COVID was what a freaking nightmare that was. But I mean, he was trying to get like ivermectin and all sorts of other stuff to get into the mainstream, and they shut him down on that. So I mean, he had some merit during that too.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. Absolutely true.
They just were like, it was, my God, he was up against mountains with that.
Unfortunately, the social issues are what like kids in that age group listen to in their woke universities. It's where they're indoctrinated about being woke. And it's just all such garbage. And if you follow any of that stuff through to its logical conclusions, you'll see what garbage it is. And so please keep listening. Brian, and thank you for that. BTK says Virginia Governor Youngkin has made paper ballots only. Yeah, I think we mentioned that the other day. That's exactly what everybody should do.
The whole country.
Be a huge fan of them, Kamala. Like back in 2016, she was saying everybody should be on a paper ballot.
Wait, she flip-flopped on something?
It's amazing.
No.
It's amazing. Who would have ever thought she would flip-flop on anything?
Totally shocked by that.
Okay, let's get to what the media was talking about in advance of the Elon Musk and Trump Twitter space, because of course they were trying to just like downplay it or denigrate it to the extent that they could before it even happened. Here's that, what's her name? Casey, whatever. This chick on CNN is trying to say that Twitter is basically a dumpster fire of misinformation.
Rise as a Trump backer comes as X has turned into a haven for the spread of misinformation. Since buying the site almost 2 years ago, Musk's site has struggled to control it on topics ranging from the election to the assassination attempt against Trump. Sometimes the bad information has been boosted by Musk himself.
I mean, dare they?
This coming from CNN.
Right.
I mean, the audacity. You guys
know.
Russia.
Yeah.
Seriously, suck it. Like Twitter is a forum for misinformation. Okay, CNN, take all the seats. I don't think you get to say that. Plus, listen, Twitter it's not a news organization. It's like they're trying to treat it as such. Like somehow it's some sort of journalistic entity. It's not. It's a town square is what it is. Exactly. And we're allowed to share things in the town square because this is America, lady. And we can do that. And for some reason, these commies want to shut that down because they're exactly that. You know, it's crazy how that works.
Well, she also had on some chick to talk about like previewing what they thought this conversation with Musk and Trump would go like. And here's what this lady said.
Yeah. What do you expect out of this conversation that we're going to see tonight on Twitter?
Well, for one, I think it's going to be a very lighthearted conversation because Elon Musk has come out and endorsed Donald Trump. I expect this to be like a bromance type of an interview where they're supporting each other. I think that Elon Musk will let Donald Trump speak all of the falsehoods and misinformation that he wants. I mean, he's not a journalist. It's not his job necessarily. Does he want to be fact checking all of the information? So I think it's just a platform for Donald Trump to come out and say whatever he wants. But the thing to remember, Cassie, is like interview audience here is what Donald Trump needs. You see JD Vance going on Face the Nation, right? Sunday shows, traditional media, because he needs to get his name out there. Donald Trump's going the opposite route, right? He's talking to streamers and podcasters. He's going on X. He wants to rally up that sort of fringe online base. That's what Donald Trump is doing here tonight.
Well,
it's fringe, you guys.
Super fringe.
You guys are fringe. Because all the people who like listen to podcasts and are out there listening to alternative media are considered fringe now. If you don't listen to the mainstream media and the propaganda machine that is the MSM, you're fringe. Isn't it crazy how they're using that word?
Yeah, I mean, and why do they consider streamers like
fringe.
Regular kid? I don't know why they would consider them fringe. That's a whole humongous audience to tap into.
Well, I mean, let them do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
let
fine.
them do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because as Linda Yaccarino pointed out, this was before the space started. She said, before you tune in, here's some data about who is on the platform. In the United States alone, 37 million Democrats, 32 million Republicans, and 34 million swing voters. So it's an audience. And that I don't think is just fringe. It's interesting that there's more Democrats and more swing voters than Republicans.
I totally find that interesting too. I can't believe there are that many swing voters.
I know, right?
What the hell?
How they have that information, I'm not sure. Like,
exactly.
They poll literally everybody on Twitter. I don't know, but that's what they say. There's a News Nation clip also, and I don't know who these people are, but they're on News Nation also previewing the space, talking about whether or not it moves the needle at all or will move the needle. And here is that conversation.
But what about tonight, Elon Musk and Trump? What would you say?
Connell, I agree with Tia that overall Musk can have an impact. His money, his influence in the culture, the fact that he owns Twitter or X. But I don't think the interview tonight is going to make that much difference. I don't think it's going to move the needle that much, if for no other reason than this. In my 15 or so years on Twitter, what I have found is that the most polarized part of the electorate is the part that's on Twitter, right?
Yes.
The people that are in the middle, the swing voters, the people between the 45-yard lines are moved by certain voices and issues, but not by what goes on a day-to-day basis on the site X.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, but I don't know, but I do like Trump's strategy in all of this. I do appreciate the fact that he is reaching out on socials and that he is talking to like the alternative news sources and the streamers. It's what we've been pushing since we started Chicks on the Right.
Yeah.
We've been like, this is what Republicans have to do, and he's doing it. So I applaud him for his strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more exposure he gets on these types of platforms, I don't see how that's a bad thing.
Yeah. Moreover, he's not afraid to still go on the MSM propaganda channels. He's not afraid to do anything.
Do you think MSNBC has ever invited him to do an interview?
Probably not, because they don't want him to come, because they're like, he's in this information and we can't have him on here. I mean, as you recall, Rachel Maddow, when, they shut him down when he would do a speech, they're like, well, we can't show him,
right.
we can't show him because are you kidding me? He's our nominee. He's our guy. And they refuse to show him. So they're the commies that don't want him on. But if obviously he's going to be doing an ABC debate, and that debate is going to be in every way, shape, or form in favor of Kamala. It's literally going to be, we're going to be like baby birding it. They're going to be chewing up the food and like spitting it in Kamala's mouth. That's how they're going to be doing it with her. And then they're going to be treating him like absolute garbage. We see how George Stephanopoulos treats him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, but he's not afraid. Trump is like, I'll do it. I'll totally go. Kamala would never do that.
Well,
Never.
and I wish at some point when Rachel, pans away from a rally in progress because they don't want to spread false information, I wish somebody would have an opportunity to say to her, do you stop interviews when Joe Biden repeats that very fine people hoax? Do you ever shut down the interview? Do you ever block it from showing because he is spreading false information? It's such bullshit the way that they do that.
Yeah. As we all know, it's two-tiered in this country.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
They have their own set of rules, and then we actually have rules. I mean, by saying they have their own set of rules, they have none. There are no rules for them. But we have very, very strict rules because we're Republicans and conservatives, and we have to live by those rules, which are ridiculous, and they move the goalposts every single day. Mm-hmm. It's not fair.
It is not fair. And just know that if God forbid we have to deal with a Kamala presidency, or even if we don't, right now the markets are so crazy. The housing market could take a tumble at any point. We're in so much debt that it doesn't even matter if Trump becomes president. There's so much that cannot be undone in terms of our entire financial apparatus. And so if you are relying on the market, if you have all of your eggs in one basket when it comes to retirement, please don't do that. Please think about protecting your savings. Learn the role that precious metals like gold can play in your overall savings strategy. You can get a free information kit from our friends at Birch Gold by just texting the word chicks to 989898. And you can diversify like an old IRA, an old 401k account for no money out of pocket whatsoever. You can convert it into an IRA that's it's backed by actual physical gold or silver. And these are things that always retain their value, even when the market is doing what the market does. So if it's not familiar territory for you and you want to learn more about it, there's absolutely no obligation. When you text the word chicks to 989898, all that's going to happen is that you're going to get a free information kit where you can read it and digest it. It's very easy to understand. And then you can decide if it's for you or not for you, but at least you'll have the information. So again, it's Birch Gold. Text the word chicks to 989898. Now, some people like Claire McCaskill, who is just one of the shrillest of the harpies, very upset that Elon was going to host Trump on his platform and doesn't even understand why the government has any ties to Elon whatsoever. Here is her freaking out about satellites.
What should the Pentagon be doing with the fact that we're buying satellites from Elon Musk? I mean, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy to me that there are educated people that don't see how desperate and sick Donald Trump really is.
Well, because he is the one that isn't he the one that NASA screwed up? And I think it's because of Boeing, because NASA is responsible for those people. I think they're supposed to be in space for 8 days and they're stuck there for 28 or something like that. And Elon's the one that had to go in and save them. So,
I mean, to act as though the government shouldn't be buying satellites from Elon, one of the smartest men on the planet.
It's so stupid. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Claire? Are you going to do it? Are you smart enough to do that? I mean, this is the thing. He's a brilliant guy. So that's why the government is like, hey, can you help us with this? That's why, Claire, because you're not smart enough to do it. People like Elon. Yeah, Claire. Because people like Elon are. So what are you going to do? Cut him off? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Look at her insane face. She's just rabid.
Yeah.
Stuart the Brit, thank you. Stuart says, we always remember Trump with the Queen. He showed the best of American people. Obama and Biden didn't. Yeah, we've got a great example of that to get to in just a little bit. But you're absolutely right. Carrie Hoffman, thank you. Carrie says, what happened to 3 sources in a news piece? Was that ever a thing?
Yeah, and journalism.
Back in the day?
Back in the day when they used to actually teach real journalism, but they also used to teach no bias. And that doesn't exist anymore. Journalism died a long time ago.
Yep. Mm-hmm. John Newbaum says, was listening to yesterday's show and Kamala's campaign song should be Bitch by Meredith Brooks.
Remember I'm a bitch. I'm a lover. Yeah.
That was a good song. By the way, she is conservative.
She is. Oh, that's right. She is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think she follows us even.
Really?
On
gosh.
Twitter. I'm pretty sure she does.
She should write our theme song.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Rebecca Hall, thank you very much. Rebecca says, greetings from the Fringe girls. Love y'all. Thank you so much.
Greetings.
And Paula Johnson says, replace the word misinformation with the word truth.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody. All right.
They hate the truth.
I forget what I have after this. I think
Claire.
Yeah, I think people who've been very loyal to Truth Social were mad that Trump got back on Twitter. So he reemerged. He reactivated his account on Twitter yesterday, in addition to having this space with Elon Musk. But there were a bunch of people who were super pissed off about it. And there thousands, I guess, planned to boycott and go offline at 8:00 when the space was set to begin, wanting Trump to go back to Truth Social.
That's kind of weird. Just do both. Why
Yeah,
can't
like,
people
why?
just have an open mind? Like, what's the big
don't
deal?
know.
People get so mad. It's so
over
mad.
the weirdest stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, why can't you like both DeSantis and Trump? You know, like, quit being a jerk. Just
Right.
everybody love everybody. Just stop. You know, good Lord.
We referred back to Thierry Breton from the EU Commission earlier in the show and the scary letter that he sent to X telling them that they could get in big fat trouble if they host this space. Well, there's a Washington Post reporter. His name is Cleve Woodson. And
His parents hated him. They really hated him, you guys.
And this guy had, I mean, just as bad as the commie from the EU. Listen to the question that he asked KJP in the presser yesterday. This is unbelievable. They are commies.
Yep.
Elon Musk is slated to interview Donald Trump tonight on X. I don't know if the president is going to tune in. Feel free to say if he is or not. But I think that misinformation on Twitter is not just a campaign issue. It's a America issue. What role does the White House or the president have in sort of stopping that or stopping the spread of that?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Intervening in that. Some of that was about campaign misinformation.
Wow.
But, it's a wider thing, right?
Yeah, no, and you've heard us talk about this many times from here about the responsibilities that social media platforms have when it comes to misinformation, disinformation. Don't have anything to read out from here about specific ways that we're working on it, but
yeah, you better not. What in the world?
The answer should have been it's a free country. It's called free speech, and you're supposed to be a journalist. What the hell, dude? That should have been the answer. What the hell, dude?
God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This is why when I see what's going on in the UK, I do worry because it seems like America follows what happens. The crazy in UK bleeds over here, unfortunately, and he's perfect evidence of it. Mike Davis went after him hard, saying, truly pathetic. You are a White House reporter for the Washington Post, and you think your job is to collude with the White House press secretary to censor Americans with whom you disagree? Do you understand how dumb and dangerous you sound? You are truly shameful.
Yeah. It's like, quit your job, delete all your socials, and go work at Starbucks. Go. Just stop everything that you're doing. What a disgrace this guy is.
Right?
He's a disgrace as a journalist. He's a disgrace as an American. Stop everything you're doing. What a loser.
Just ridiculous. Okay, so let's get into the actual space. We should mention that it was set to start at 8:00. It did not. And tons of people were trying to get into the space, having trouble getting into the space. It took me about 7 tries or like refreshes or whatever. And then I got in and listened like everybody else to about 40 minutes of horrible elevator music. But then we started to see the numbers climbing. And at the time that I was listening, I only listened for the first 40 minutes or so. But at the time I left, I think there were just under 1.3 million active listeners at the time that I checked out. So they did have some technical issues. They were attacked. There was some very coordinated attack on their servers that Elon posted about and said, that worst case scenario, they would just do the space with a smaller group and post it immediately afterwards. But they did finally get it going. And I should also point out that something allegedly was wrong with Trump's mic or Trump's sound, because he has a very Daffy Duck quality to his speech during the space, which we know that's not how he sounds. But of course, like, people were losing their minds and creating all the memes about it because he does sound very lispy. But it was just something that was going on with his sound. So about 40 minutes in, once it turned to be like 8:35, 8:40. Then finally there was a little bit of silence. And then Elon came to give an introduction and to explain what had happened. Here he is with that.
All right. Hello, everyone. My apologies for the late start. We unfortunately had a massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers, and saturated all of our data lines. Like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say, and but I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation. It's hard to catch a vibe about someone if you just don't hear them talk in a normal way. Mm-hmm. And when there's an adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview. And this is really aimed at kind of open-minded, independent voters who just trying to make up their mind.
I love that.
Yeah, so that was the intro. Mm-hmm. And then the first question, unfortunately, was about the assassination attempt. And it was 40 minutes of an answer, which was just like a repeat of the GOP convention speech. So the thing that he said was way too painful for him to ever talk about again. he talked about it
again. Yeah.
Ad nauseum, to the point where I was just like, I can't stay up past this. Like, I cannot, this is too much. Mm-hmm. No one who is an independent that this is supposed to be aimed at is learning anything new. Let's get to some policies. Come on. And then it did. And so after, because I couldn't stay up that late, but I caught up this morning, and then they did get into some great policy and idea discussions that were awesome. But yeah, that first 35, 40 minutes was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal. Yeah. So the next bit, because that picture is that Terry Breton guy. And Elon pointed out that he believes that Trump is very much a free speech advocate. And this part of that conversation.
There's a lot of attempts to do censorship and to force censorship, even on Americans from other countries. And I think it's obvious that you're a believer and an advocate of free speech, because during your first term as president, you were attacked relentlessly every day, often very unfairly with false attacks, and you didn't try to shut down the media. You didn't try to inhibit their freedom of speech, and I think that says a lot.
He's 100% correct.
Yep. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they got into inflation. And again, just warning people who haven't heard any of the space, Donald Trump is okay. I don't think he had like any tooth issues or dental procedures. I think the sound was just really wonky, and that's why he sounds kind of lispy.
The inflation, it doesn't matter what you make. The inflation is eating you alive. If you're a worker or if you're just a middle-income person, you can't afford, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, people were saving a lot of money. Today, they're using all their money and borrowing money just to live. It's a horrible thing that's happening, and we'll end that quickly.
Well, I think a lot of people just don't understand where inflation comes from. Inflation comes from government overspending, because the checks never bounce when it's written by the government. So if the government spends far more than it brings in, that increases the money supply. And if the money supply increases faster than the rate of goods and services, that's inflation. So really, we need to have we need to reduce our government spending, and we need to re-examine. I think we need like a government efficiency commission to say like, hey, where are we spending money that's sensible? Where is it not sensible? And we need to live within our means. We're currently adding, I think, $1 trillion to the deficit roughly every 100 days.
That's right.
And the interest payments on the national debt have now exceeded the defense budget. It's on the order of $1 trillion.
It's interest,
and it keeps growing.
He's absolutely right. Wouldn't that be the most amazing thing? I'd love for him to head it up.
And he said he'd be willing. He said he'd be willing to participate. I don't know if he would head it up or what, but he definitely is willing. And
it would be great.
Love this idea. Oh
I
my
know.
gosh.
It's like there aren't a lot of guys like that who have, participated in the private sector who are willing to do that kind of stuff. Mitch Daniels is one of those people who understands spend analysis, getting in there and like creating a freaking budget. Go figure. Oh my God. Let's live within our means. Oh my God. Imagine that. Imagine doing that in government. Because he's right. Their checks never bounce because they just they keep sucking and stealing money from us. Can you imagine? Oh my God, it'd be so great.
Then they got on the issue of the border. And again, this is like the rest of the conversation was awesome. In fact, my husband stayed up for the whole thing and he came and he was like, it got so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it did. Like when they got onto policy issues, it was a fantastic conversation. It wasn't an interview at all. It was just like these two smart dudes talking to each other about the state of the world.
Business guys.
Yeah. And so Elon kicks off this discussion by framing what he believes is Trump's outlook on immigration. And he nailed it. And Trump responds.
Would it be accurate to say that you're supportive of legal immigration, but we also need to shut down illegal immigration and especially unvetted illegal immigration, because that's not the same as saying that everyone who's an illegal immigrant is bad. In fact, I think most people who are illegal immigrants are actually good, but you can't tell the difference unless there's a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Does that accurately represent your position?
I say it very simply. They have to come in legally. They have to be checked.
Yeah.
Because look, Kamala was the border czar. Now she's denying it. Everything that I do, she's saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now. It's horrible. No tax on tips, and all of a sudden she's making a speech and there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago. And by the way, they had just the opposite. They had not only tax on tips, but they hired 88,000 IRS agents, and many of them were assigned to go get waitresses and caddies and all of this on tips. They have a policy. They had a policy that they were really going to go after you and were really harassing people horribly. And then all of a sudden, for politics, she says, she comes out with what I said, which I think is terrible. And I think it's also hitting them very hard. These people are fake. Now they're also saying they did a good job on the border. We had the worst numbers in the history of the world, not of our country. There's never been a country in history that has had a catastrophe like this. We've had, I believe, and I think you believe this too, you hear 12 million, 13. I believe it's over 20 million people came into our country, many coming from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions, or a bigger version of that is insane asylums. And many are terrorists. And I saw an ad by Kamala saying how she is going to provide border security. Where has she been for 3.5 years? For 3.5 years, we have 20 million people poured in. It's a terrible thing.
I think this, frankly, I think this is a fundamental existential issue for the United States. And if we have another 4 more years of open borders, and it's going to be even worse with another 4 more years, it's going to be even worse than it's been for the past, 3.5 years. I'm not sure we've got a country.
You don't have a country left.
You're right.
Elon, if they get in, you will have 50 to 60 million people from all over the world, not South America only. We think of South America, we think of Honduras and El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico, the 4. But it's not that. It's everywhere. They're coming in from everywhere. And I had to stay in Mexico.
I think this is a super important point. Like people, it's like basically when I went down there, I was like, well, where are people from? It's like almost no one was from Mexico.
No, Mexico less.
It's just the border. It's just the border with Mexico. But the people coming in, it's Earth, the rest of Earth. and America is only about 4 or 5% of the population of Earth. It would only take a few % of the rest of Earth to overwhelm everything in
We're
the US.
already overwhelmed, Elon. We're overwhelmed.
We
Oh my God. This is common freaking sense.
Yeah.
And you're right. The conversation it's a beautiful conversation between two really smart businessmen.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And
it's common sense. It's just common sense.
It's common sense. And anybody that disagrees with it, they are garbage people. They're not serious adults. These are people that need to sit at the kids' table. And they need the adults in the room to handle shit because they don't need to be a part of it. Anybody that disagrees with that, I want no part of those people.
Yeah. Well, they went on because he wanted to also point out that the Kamala was in fact the border czar, and all this nonsense that the media is trying to help her avoid that title for some reason is exactly that. That is disinformation.
She's in charge of it because, now she's trying to say she had nothing to do with it. And she's such a liar because she was called the border czar the first day, and it was on the headlines of every newspaper. She's the border czar, and she never even went there. She went to one location, which had nothing to do with where the problem is. She went in and out, I guess, because she was getting a lot of pressure, but had nothing to do with the problem is. But she was the border czar, and people can't allow them to get away with their disinformation campaign. Now she's trying to say that she wasn't really involved, and the whole thing is horrible. She was totally in charge. She could have shut the border down without him. He didn't know what he was doing anyway, so he wouldn't have even known what happened. You could shut the border down. He wouldn't even know the difference.
You're right. He's absolutely right. He's 100% correct. He had no idea what was going on. Yeah.
And even though the border is arguably Trump's biggest issue, I mean, I think he would list that as one of the most important things that he wants to take care of. He understands that people beyond just the border care about just regular day-to-day living. And that's what he pointed out in this next clip.
With all of that being said, to me, that's so important, the most important. But with all of that being said, the election's coming up and the people want to hear about the economy and the fact that they can't buy groceries because they don't have enough money to buy groceries. The inflation has killed them. Food prices are up 50, 60, even 100% in some cases. And this stupid administration allowed this to happen. And it's a shame. And that's the thing that people most care about, in my opinion. They care about the border a lot. Yeah, and we discussed the border at great length. It's nice to have a forum like this where I can discuss something at length. And by the way, you think Biden could do this interview? Do you think that Kamala could do this interview? They would take a pass on you.
No, they could not.
So they don't need Elon. They don't need Elon screaming out questions. It's pretty sad.
And I think, didn't he ask? He asked Kamala.
Did
Elon, yeah, I think Elon, I saw on Twitter today where I think he put an invitation out to Kamala and she said no.
There is no way.
This is the thing. Why wouldn't she? But why wouldn't she do that? Because if she was a serious candidate who wanted to talk about policy, that was a perfect forum to do it in. I mean, it's just, it's unbelievable. And I know we don't have the clip, but there was one clip where Trump was saying that one of the biggest accomplishments that Biden had, which was just remarkable to him, I'm paraphrasing, of course, is that he ended up being hated by both sides. And it's so true.
It's true. It is true. The way that this ended too was great because Elon basically told his audience, we've got a choice to make and here's what I think the choice should be.
The path, like you are the path to prosperity, and I think Kamala is the opposite. Then that's my honest opinion. I'm gonna get attacked like crazy, and I've also experienced quite a bit of lawfare myself. But I'm just trying to tell people my honest opinion, and I haven't been really active in politics before, and I'm just trying to point out that my track record historically has been moderate, if not moderate, slightly left, and so this is to people out there who are in the moderate camp to say I think you should support Donald Trump for president. And I think it's actually a very important junction in the road, and we're in deep trouble if it goes the other way.
He's 1,000% correct.
Yep.
Yeah, and just the number of illegals coming over the border when they start talking about 50, 60 million illegals. Oh my God, we're effed, you guys.
There's no sustaining that. It's just not possible.
No, we are. He's right. We are no longer a country at that point.
Yeah.
So good luck with that, America.
Jose, thank you so much. Jose says, if X isn't important for Trump, then why did they cyber attack the Trump-Musk space session?
Yeah.
Remember this. In 2020, Twitter throttled pro-Trump tweets and anti-Biden Hunter tweets. Not so in 2024. This alone could be huge. It's a great point.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Shannon Pope says misinformation equals stuff they don't want you to hear. Exactly.
Yep. So true.
Missy Sanders said, I've heard people with mics that were not working properly and they didn't sound anywhere near like Trump's lisp. Okay, fine. But have you heard Trump in life? Because he doesn't sound like that. So clearly there was something wrong. You know what I mean? Like that's not his normal voice.
It was a mic thing.
Yeah. Janine Gledhill, thank you very much. She says we are being Milli Vanillied.
I love it.
All right, let's move on because we also need to talk about the fact. Actually, this could be like a normal size show. Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit longer than a normal size show. Maybe I could be off. Anyway, we need to talk about this new word of the day that the media has glommed onto, and that is about Kamala's momentum. Behold this momentum montage.
Ground momentum. New numbers showing the Harris-Walz ticket is gaining ground.
Vice President Harris gaining momentum.
Momentum in some key states.
This morning, Vice President Kamala Harris gaining momentum.
Gaining momentum. Gaining momentum.
Gaining momentum.
But look, this momentum, keeping the momentum.
Harris's momentum.
Harris's momentum.
You can't slow down the momentum.
This remarkable momentum.
Mission number one is create the momentum and then keep the momentum. What does momentum look like in the polls?
Kamala Harris is doing two things here. Number one, momentum, and number two, momentum. But take a look here. Clear momentum.
So momentum it is today.
Momentum it is.
Democrats ride a wave of momentum.
She does have that momentum. The Democrats are riding a wave of momentum, generating a kind of momentum.
The Harris team is going to want to keep this momentum.
Keep the momentum going. They want to keep that momentum.
The momentum here is amazing. The crowds are literally insane.
This momentum, it just seems day in and day out to keep getting more powerful by the day.
The trend is heavily towards Harris, and it's rushing towards Harris in recent weeks. The vice president at this point throwing the equivalent of a no-hitter in the first 3 weeks of her campaign, hoping to keep that going with the Democratic convention next week.
I mean, do you think Obama sends out the email? Who do you think sends it out?
I know, right? It's very interesting.
It's just every freaking day we show you guys some sort of a montage with this ridiculous propaganda media. It's ridiculous at this point. They're like a caricature of what the media should be like. They're just ridiculous. So I just want to know who's sending out the emails. Who is it?
Well, and it's, what's so fascinating too is that they're creating their own self-fulfilling prophecy because they talk about momentum. They talk about her. They build her up, build her up. And then they're like, oh my gosh, look at all this momentum that's happened organically, even though they have created her. They are creating her. And then they're like mystified that there's momentum. It's so obvious.
They create everything. They just, it's basically like what JD Vance said. It's a movie. They're writing their own movie. It's a script. It's all a script. There is nothing real about this campaign. There's nothing real about Kamala. There's nothing real about Democrats. It's all a script. We're at least real. And so we're on the right side because at least you're dealing with honest, real people. Their side, phony, fake, scripted, all of it. It's just all a big house of cards. Unreal,
and it just makes me think back to Brian, who was the 29-year-old who's like, we just can't vote for Trump. And I'm just, but the choice is then to vote for someone who you don't know anything about, except that she has lied about every single part of her record. And the fact that she doesn't respect you enough to get out there and tell you what she believes or what she plans to do, that alone should be a reason for young people to be like, this lady is sketch. And I want somebody who I can look at and know what they think about things.
Yeah, you're voting for a controlled puppet.
Yeah.
That's what you're voting for. You're voting for somebody who takes her marching orders from Obama and like a cabal. You're voting for somebody who is controlled by another entity. That's not America. You're voting for a commie. Good luck with that.
Yep. This was an interesting conversation between Dana Perino and Kevin McCarthy about Kamala's strategy from here on out and Trump's strategy from here on out. And I have to say, I completely agreed with Kevin McCarthy about where this is and where it needs to go. And usually, he's a little squirrely for my taste, but I think he's absolutely spot on.
Let me ask you about that.
Yeah.
These polls that are coming out, the Fox News Power Rankings we're going to show, like this race is back to being very, very close. Trump has a slight lead in certain places, but she's gaining. So what do you think the Trump team should be doing maybe this week to try to do what you just said?
Well, it's just like every Sunday you play a different team. She has a different offense. She's out working. She plays differently, that Biden is no longer there. Biden not only was going to lose, he was going to crater the Democratic Party. So it's come back. But the Democrats are still playing defense. All Trump has to do is win Pennsylvania and Georgia. He doesn't even have to win Nevada and Arizona, and he's the president. So she has to play defense at all those places. I think she made a wrong pick when it came to VP. She'd be in a different place if she had Shapiro. But it's going to be a race, and you've got to make this race not on personalities. Stop questioning the size of her crowds and start questioning her position when it comes to what did she do as Attorney General on crime. Question what did she do when she was supposed to take care of the border as a czar. Question that they brought inflation. And she was the tie-breaking vote when it came to inflation. When it came to IRS agents, this is a perfect person to run against. You thought John Kerry was a flip-flopper? She is the biggest flip-flop with the most extreme positions, and you got a short time frame to do it. So don't sit back, get out there and start making the case and use her own words to do it to her.
Governor Wall.
Well,
Which I think Trump did last night.
Yeah, he's getting out there. You can't deny the fact or downplay that he's getting out there. He's doing that, Kevin. Lord.
Well, I think he just means, enough with the crazy tweets about crowd size. Just focus on the things that you're super good at and that you have a huge leg up on over her, because that's what will matter to people.
Yeah, I mean, it matters to people, but when you're up against a complete machine, that gets their marching orders on, okay, everybody say momentum and go.
Go.
That's what we're up against, Kevin. Yeah. Kevin.
Samantha Capehart, thank you. She says, millennial here. All my millennial friends will be third-time Trump voters. This includes women, vets, and Hispanics from all across the United States.
I love it.
You have good friends, Samantha.
Yeah, you do.
Beto, I know how much you hate him, which is why I had to
despise him. You mean Robert O'Rourke?
This pairing too, like Jen Psaki and Beto.
God, this guy.
Oh my
God.
Talk
about phony, like complete. This guy has fabricated his entire political life. He's the biggest phony there is. My name is No, it's not Beto. You're not Hispanic. Shut up. Yeah. Oh my God.
So Psaki had him on because, like, who else will? You know what I mean?
He's desperate.
So she had him on to talk about the state of Texas and where, if there's, if it's in play from a presidential race standpoint, but also where it stands with congressional races. And here he is about that.
They're clearly creating a lot of excitement out there. What do you think this is enough? I mean, is Texas a pipe dream, or should people hold their hope out for Texas in 2024, or is it going to take a little bit longer?
The thing is, you now see Democrats smiling. There is joy in our party. There's electricity moving through the system. And yes, places that I think were written off are now in contention. 3 of the most competitive congressional races in the country are in Texas, including Michelle Vallejos in Texas 15. We win those, we might win control of the House of Representatives. The biggest pickup opportunity for Senate Democrats is also in Texas. Colin Allred versus Ted Cruz. I think Harris-Walz rise or increase the chances that we're going to be able to win these races. And, who knows? But Joe Biden lost Texas by only 5.5 points in 2020. It's been moving faster into the blue column than any other battleground state. Anything I think is possible in this year. And with the energy that those two are bringing to this ticket, I think that Texas could possibly be in play.
You guys, if you're in Texas, do not let this happen.
No, I agree with that. I mean, but a lot of the reason for that is because we've had so many freaking transplants.
Yeah.
It's because everybody keeps moving to Texas and they want to bring their freaking politics here. We're full. Seriously. Leave your politics in California and all the other like creepy liberal places. Like just stay there and quit coming here and bringing your crap politics. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's
God.
disheartening. Yes. It's very, a lot of places are purple, but there are a lot of places here that are still very, very red. Believe me.
Well, just if you're in a purple place in Texas, drag everybody to the polls, please, for the love of God.
And Beto is not in an office. No. Beto has lost everything that he's ever run for. Everything. Because he's a big loser. Yeah.
There was a moment with the ghost banker. No, that's Adam Schiff. This is not the ghost banker. Do we have a name or do we have like a likeness for Dan Goldman, or is he just the
no, it's just we don't have a likeness. He's just super creepy.
God, is he ever? So he was actually on with Bret Baier trying to make a case that Trump is a coward for he's being too cowardly to do debates. Donald Trump. It's so ridiculous that even Bret Baier gets a little feisty about it, which Bret Baier does not ordinarily do. Like normally he's pretty even and balanced when it comes to interviews. But in this case, with Dan Goldman trying to say Trump is scared to debate, Bret Baier had to call him out.
You heard it from a guy who would know, former Congressman Beto O'Rourke. Thank you so much for joining me. Really.
If I'm Donald Trump, I understand why he doesn't want to debate.
Oh my God!
Kamala Harris is
he's accepted 3.
Prosecutor.
He said yes to September 4th, September 10th, September 17th. He said yes to a lot of them. So it's not that he's obviously afraid to debate.
No. So no. He had agreed to September 10th.
Nope.
Well, on ABC.
With Biden, who got pushed out.
Right.
What's the difference? Why should he not debate whoever the candidate is on September 10th as he agreed to? What is the difference between candidate Biden and candidate
it's fine.
Harris?
He said he would do it. I'm just saying he's also agreed to other debates. You said he hasn't agreed to others. He has. It's the Kamala Harris campaign that hasn't agreed on the other side.
So when
did you see his face?
What a douche canoe that guy is. He's like, he had agreed to 3. I guess he can't count. This guy can't count. God bless him. God, they will try everything to lie.
Yeah, that was amazing.
They want so badly to rewrite all history, including this.
Joseph Groshek says, I never thought I would see a day a candidate that wasn't chosen by the people and has no serious policy position, even though she's been VP for a while. How did the presidency get here? It is so sad.
It is sad.
Yeah, and Democrats are just taking it. They're like, yeah, this is fine. We don't mind a coordination. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
And the whole talking point of we needed saved, like he's dangerous to democracy, that's completely disappeared. Notice how that's disappeared. It's because we know that they're the ones who are in fact destroying democracy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, they can't use that as an argument anymore.
They are literally crapping all over our constitutional republic, like taking a giant dump on it.
And Democrats are like, more please, this is fine.
Mm-hmm. They love it.
BTK says Dems push the Trump Mike lisp as drunk, even though he never drinks. Yeah, I mean, that's, oh my God. People need to let this go.
Are you kidding
know what I mean? This is ridiculous. My God. Speaking of ridiculous, I don't know who these two people are. This is on, I think, CNN. But there is a guy who is on a panel who is trying to say that the way that JD Vance is going after Tim Walz is to portray Tim Walz as a sexual deviant, which is so batshit crazy that I just don't even know where to begin on that. Thankfully, the other dude sitting next to him is as baffled as I am, as you are, that this is even something coming out of this guy's face. And to me, just by the looks of him, and I know you can't judge a book by its cover, but it seems like a lot of projection, if you ask me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the Kamala Harris campaign that hasn't agreed on the other side.
So when the point to the, I'm going to say this because this is it's not nice, it's not true, but what he's trying to suggest is that Tim Walz is a sexual deviant of some kind.
What are you talking about?
That's what he's trying to. That's what he's trying to imply.
Ridiculous, David.
Of course,
no.
That is what he.
No, that's ridiculous. Like, okay,
look at Donald Trump.
Sexual deviant. No, first of all, Tim Walz started this whole weird line attack.
Look at Donald Trump.
Online. We spent 3 months on 3 weeks on Brat Summer, and you're going to sexual deviant. That is ridiculous.
If you want to understand this is just as a point of analytic understanding. Not look at Donald Trump Jr.'s Twitter feed to understand what the underworld, the lava coming up from the ugliest parts of American life are, and what they're trying to suggest.
Oh yeah.
The point to the JD Vance.
Okay.
When he says, I want to talk about policy. He's a candidate who's trying to say, when I said that the unemployed are a bunch of lazy louts swilling beer on the couch at 9 a.m., what I meant to say is this country needs to do a better job of creating work for people. You know, that everything is couched as a personal attack of the most vicious kind. And that's what he's doing with Tim Walz. That's why people think he's weird, because he's so brilliant. He's so capable. So why is he so filled with rage and contempt for others?
You're saying that J.D. Vance is brilliant. You're giving him credit.
Yes, he is brilliant. He's a very, very intelligent man. Why is he so filled with rage and contempt?
I appreciate, Matt, you pushing back on that. I want to kind of bring it back to Dana's.
I'm thoroughly confused by this clip. I don't understand. Where was he going with that?
I don't
And then he
know.
tried to say that the ugliest parts of American life, he somehow drew a correlation between the ugliest parts of American life and Donald Trump Jr.'s Twitter feed.
And lava?
As if that was where we find the ugliest parts of American. Dude, you're in the party where you mutilate children.
Right.
But
maybe take a seat.
You may want to take all the seats. Like, I don't think you want to go there. You don't.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. He woke up and he chose violence. It was not okay.
He woke up and chose sexual deviance, which again feels like projection to me.
It's like methinks doth protest too much.
Right. All right, let's move on to KJP because KJP had a whopper of a presser yesterday. She was asked about the whole Kamala new policy of wanting to eliminate tax on tips. I wonder where that came from.
It's new. It's shiny and new, you guys. Brand new.
And so here is what she said when questioned about it.
Interview.
Yeah. Trump was the first to endorse eliminating taxes on tips. He's accusing Vice President Harris of stealing his idea. So did she get this idea from Trump?
Look, I'm not going to respond to a presidential candidate. I think their campaign could speak to that directly. What I can say is this president, this vice president have always had the backs of the working people, always.
Really?
And you see that in the policies that they put forward.
I don't see that. I didn't see that when you guys sent the IRS after them.
Right.
They didn't really have it. The government didn't have their backs at all. In fact, they were coming after them. They were attacking them. It was like, joint, we're coming for you. It's unbelievable. But here's the thing though, Mock. I saw yesterday that some Nevada union, it was I don't know, some sort of service union, some sort of waiter or waitress, some sort of union. They're backing Kamala because of this.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Not kidding you.
The SEIU?
I don't know if it's the SEIU, but it's just some sort of union. It may be, but I'm sorry, I don't have the name and I should have before the show.
Because of this?
Because of this. And they're we're going to go ahead and back Kamala. So you know what? You get what you get. At this point, I'm like, okay, well then screw all y'all, because you should have backed Trump when he did it.
Wow.
And they didn't. And now they're backing her. And I'm like, you can't win with these people.
Yeah.
It's like they want to be abused. And if you want to stay in your shitty marriage where that guy abuses you, I can't help you. I can't. I've tried to get you out. We've tried to save you, but if you want to stay with the guy, stay with him.
God, to hear KJP then also answer that by saying, well, I mean, it's evident from their policies that they have the backs of the American people. Meanwhile, Americans are like, I can't afford rent.
Right.
I can't afford anything at the grocery store. How is that having my back?
Yeah.
My God.
I know. Liberalism is a mental disorder. It really is.
It totally is.
Mm-hmm.
Doocy had his moment. He decided to ask Kamala. He asked KJP why Kamala disagrees with Biden about the border, and this was just a very little interesting exchange.
How long have you guys known that Vice President Harris does not think President Biden is doing a good job at the border?
Wait, say that one more time?
Well, she's now promising to hire thousands more border agents than there are now under President Biden.
Wait, but start your question again.
How long have you guys known that Vice President Harris does not think that President Biden is effective with his border policy?
I mean, that you're making a huge jump. Why she did not say this. This is something that you are assuming. I don't understand why you would assume that. It's not true.
She has a campaign ad where she is saying they need more Border Patrol agents. If President Biden's doing such a good job, why do they need any more border agents?
We both believe that. The president does want more Border Patrol agents. You know who's getting in the way? Republicans in Congress. They're getting in the way. You know who else is getting in the way? The former president, Donald Trump. He's getting in the way. I mean, there's no daylight here. I'm not understanding the question because there's no daylight. The president believes that as well, and he's worked towards doing that. Sure.
It's just unreal.
Oh my gosh, KJP. She's
and
something else.
And the big giant prairie collar. It was like from 1982. It's like very Holly Hobby. What's that?
I forget what this little guy's name is. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this other reporter asks her if what she or Biden would say Kamala's biggest achievement is as vice president.
Can't wait for this one.
You noted how the vice president has been a partner in all of the heavy lifts over these last 3.5 years. Given that they've worked so closely together in that time, what does the president see as the vice president's biggest achievement during their time in office together?
Great question.
Because they've been partners, those achievements have been done, certainly those historic, unprecedented achievements have been done together. I'll say this, the president believes in the vice president leadership, her temperament, her experience.
That's not an achievement.
And he has said this himself. One of the proudest decisions that he made in 2020 was selecting her as vice president.
Not an achievement.
She can go on day one, and you've seen them do that together on day one.
Well, we're
of
still
this
waiting.
Administration that doesn't change. I'm not going to parse out anything from here. They have been
too bad
partners.
because that was
She's
the
been
question.
A critical partner for this president for during this term, and will continue to do so. You will see them together on Thursday in Maryland, where they would talk about their next announcement on
It wasn't the
costs for the
question.
American people.
Wasn't at all the question. Wasn't it? You completely failed at your job right there. So, Mock, you were in HR. If you asked the question, hey, what was your biggest achievement in your last job, and somebody bullshitted you like that, would that person get the job, Mock? Would they?
Absolutely not.
Yes.
No.
It's a big
and I
fat
would keep
no.
pressing. I would be like, okay, but what?
Why? What was it?
I need you to parse out just one. I mean, just give me an example.
Maybe
parse it.
Maybe just a half of one. Maybe just a half of an accomplishment. A quarter of an accomplishment.
She probably has so many. It shouldn't be hard to come up with
right.
just one.
And I just want to hire you for janitor. Not for president. Just for.
Oh my God.
I just need an accomplishment. You can't. Okay.
Teresa Raimundo says, I'm so tired of this administration blaming someone who is not in office as the
Right.
stopgap for every policy they propose.
Exactly. They act like he is in office right now.
Yeah.
They give him so much power. Isn't it crazy?
And lastly, she was also asked if Kamala would be making an appearance at the podium because she's hiding most of the time. So here is, she didn't like this question.
As a member of the administration, can we expect the vice president to come out here and speak to the American people in the briefing room at some point?
The president and the vice president speaks to the American people regularly, and that's why I'll leave that.
Yeah, of course you're going to leave it there. Of course. And then we're going to continue to pay you a salary and a pension and everything. And that's why every day, this is why people drink. This is why. It's because of answers like that.
Okay, I have to point this out. Somebody just said, there's photos of JD Vance dressed in drag on the internet. Google it, from his college years. And I'm supposed to care about this? Why are people bringing out a photo of him fooling around in college as college kids do, and acting as if this is some kind of big story? Why? I cannot believe that this is a thing. I didn't even include it because I was like, nobody's going to care about this because it's such a non-story. But apparently, people care.
There's pictures of. I mean, Michael Knowles went through that too. Remember?
Yeah, it's so dumb. Do
it
you
is
guys
dumb.
Not remember college?
Yeah,
and how idiotic we all were.
And thank God there was no internet.
My
God,
because
I wouldn't be doing this today.
Just can't.
Good Lord. Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my God. We always try to show a flashback clip of Kamala to show the real Kamala and what her policies were just 45 seconds ago. This is during her first campaign for president, where she's asked, and it's a little hard to hear at first, but then it does get louder, but she's being asked by someone in the audience about the immigration detention centers, where right now we house lots and lots of bad guys, okay? Like the worst of the worst that are not able to get, I mean, of course we release criminals into the country too, unfortunately, under this administration, but the worst of the worst are in these detention centers. And here is what Kamala said about what she would do on day one with those detention centers.
Hi,
My name's Sally Hartman. I'm a volunteer with the Center for Worker Justice. I want to know, when you become president, would you be committing to close immigration detention centers?
Absolutely, on day one. On day one.
Just remember that. She just wants to let all the criminals out.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It's not bad enough that we have like all these illegals in here that were, terrorists coming across our border too, but let's just let all of them out. Let them
Two
all
illegals
out.
raped somebody on Coney Island yesterday. I mean, the crimes never stop.
Right. Exactly. They're there. Just let them out because, nobody who is an undocumented, like she said 1 million times, undocumented people are not illegal, you guys. They're not breaking the law. But listen, if you don't pay your taxes, you're going to jail. You got to pay for these people. Make no mistake. Right.
I think this next fellow speaks for all of us because I know sometimes this campaign, the Kamala campaign, it does feel like we're living in some sort of alternative universe where we cannot fathom how many sheep there are among us. And I thought that he put this very, very well.
Does anybody else feel like we're in the Twilight Zone with this whole Kamala Harris thing? Like this is a bad episode of Punk'd and we're just waiting for Ashton Kutcher to come hopping out of a bush somewhere?
Exactly.
Do these people not realize that she is currently the VP? She's part of this administration, which is what we've been living for the last 3.5 years.
Right.
Yet when you try to ask them, what do you think she's going to do differently than what we've experienced the last 3.5 years, they don't have a single answer. This one guy I was talking to the other day was like, well, she's going to put things in place to get inflation back where it needs to be and boost the economy. What?
I know.
These people are so far checked out of reality, it blows the mind. She could have already done that. She's had 3.5 years to do exactly that.
Or
and
something.
You honestly think she's just going to pull the answers out of her ass all of a sudden because you nominated her president? She had all the answers, she just didn't bother to tell anybody? Is that what you're saying? Please help us understand.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. They just want the first Black woman president. That's all they care about, you guys. That's it. It's all identity politics, and shame on those people. Those are the real racists, by the way.
And they're just idiots because they can see what her policies look like in real time because we're living them.
Right.
There is hope even for some of the most ideological people out there. Anna Kasparian, who is part of the Young Turks program, about as far left as you can get, she's been having these moments of clarity, you guys. And she just had another one. She was recently on the Patrick Bet-David podcast, and they were talking about the homelessness crisis in California and the amount of money that Gavin Newsom has spent on that crisis to solve it is so astronomically insane, and there is no accounting for it. And so Anna is pissed, and I feel like she's almost there, you guys.
God,
she's so close.
She's been almost there for like a year.
Yeah.
And so I just come to our side, Anna. Come on.
Just make the leap already.
Right.
She knows what's happening. She's going to explain to all of us where that money has gone.
$13 billion in Los Angeles alone last year to combat homelessness. You want to know where that money went? That money went to these trash nonprofits who have a bunch of executives making $500,000 a year. You're working for a nonprofit dealing with homelessness. That's my money. That's my parents' money. Okay? That is the hardworking people of California paying incredibly high taxes that go to what? So yeah, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And honestly, just experiencing what I've seen on the ground in California has made me question a lot about left-wing ideology.
It should make you question a lot. Look at what a shithole that place is. It's because of Gavin Newsom. And all of a sudden, last week he decided, I'm going to go and I'm going to pick up trash and I'm going to get tough on homelessness when I've taken all this money. Look, he has spent more on homelessness than anybody. What's it done? There's been an explosion of homelessness under him, an explosion. And he's gotten rich and all these people have gotten rich. It should make you question your ideology.
Did you see the PR stunt that he pulled last week when he went out to start cleaning up?
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. He went up there to pick up trash and everything. He's like, let me. It was total PR. It was like, let me just get a bunch of. It's a photo op for him.
Right.
Let me do this and act like I care. It was ridiculous.
Oh my gosh! But listen, I feel like she's getting closer and closer all the time. We almost have her.
Yeah, I mean,
within our grasp.
I mean, everything she just said was conservative. Everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was you'll love this video because this was in just a regular old Walmart, I think, where some guy with a video camera is going around just saying Trump or Kamala to anybody that he sees walking around Walmart, shopping at Walmart. And this is another thing that gave me some hope.
Lots about left-wing ideology.
Trump or Kamala? Trump or Kamala for president?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala? Who? Trump or Kamala?
Oh. Not Kamala.
Excuse me, sir. Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala?
Huh?
Trump or Kamala?
Oh, Trump for sure. Trump or
I
Kamala?
love it.
Trump.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala?
How about if you stop doing that, please?
Oh.
Trump
So
or
we went to
Kamala?
Lowe's.
Trump.
Trump or Kamala for president?
Trump.
Not a single person said Kamala yet. Trump or Kamala?
What are you talking about?
For president, Trump or Kamala?
Kamala. Fuck Trump.
You were the first person to say Kamala.
Right.
I don't really like her.
Well, I don't care.
What would you say
Okay.
to Trump? Trump's an asshole. He belongs in jail.
What would you say to Trump if he was here right now?
I would shoot him.
Oh
Trump or
my
Kamala,
God.
guys? Trump.
Trump or Kamala for president?
Trump.
Donald.
Isn't
That
it
one-
interesting that the one person was a violent SOB?
Oh my God. Yeah. The party of compassion and tolerance, right?
I thought that was so interesting.
Good Lord. Yeah. I would shoot him.
Like,
Oh my God.
dude, you're like 70. Just calm down.
Like,
The reason you're probably still working is because of Biden-Harris's policies.
Precisely. I was just going to say that. That's absolutely correct. Oh my God. What an angry, awful old man.
Just grumpy, grouchy jerk.
Yeah.
Batya Ungar-Sargon, who I adore, she pointed out something that I don't think has been talked about at all with respect to the wage gap and what Trump did about it.
Donald Trump was the first American president in 60 years to shrink wealth inequality in America, which is something no one wants to talk about because the free market right doesn't really care about it and the left doesn't want to give him credit for it. Donald Trump shrank the wage gap between the working class and the college educated.
That's what free markets do.
I just thought that was an important thing to point out.
That is what free markets do. And they hate them.
Mhm.
They hate free markets. It's all about control, you guys.
Yep. Now, Trump, as we talked about, back on Twitter. I don't know if he's going to be there every day. I have no idea. But one of the videos that he posted is just the best ad ever, you guys. You are going to love this.
Trump's left the building. We can now project the winner of the presidential race. Donald Trump wins the presidency. What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
We have a president who actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign, securing the border to foreign policy.
He now has a record as president that's pretty damn impressive.
Breaking news out of Palm
The
Beach,
FBI
Florida.
has executed an unprecedented search warrant at President Donald Trump's against the Mar-a-Lago former estate. president has both sides of the political aisle up
Is
in
a
arms.
dangerous and unstable moment in American history.
The Justice Department has just indicted former President Donald Trump.
7 years. They hated him. They targeted him. They hunted him.
This is the epitome of the abuse of the prosecutorial power to preempt political decisions.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving. On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country, and we will make America great again. America will always rise to every challenge and overcome every danger.
Donald Trump seems to always get stronger when challenged. These types of things, I think, give him strength.
When I'm reelected, I will totally obliterate the deep state.
As long as we have pride in our beliefs, courage in our convictions, and faith in our God, then we will not fail.
Best
I mean,
ad ever. Best ad ever.
Right?
I mean, if you are on the fence at all and you see that, how are you on the fence? How?
I don't even know.
Do you have like any? Do you have a backbone, or do you love this country at all? Good Lord.
Yeah, that was just
beautiful. Amazing.
Beautiful.
You're right. God wins. You're right.
Oh, just love it. And another thing that you all are also going to love is just, I don't know who took this video, but it's of Trump like out on the campaign trail. I think he may be in a fast food restaurant or something. And it's an example, a perfect example of how good he is at the retail politics side of campaigning and how real he is with people and how welcoming and how special he makes every single person feel that wants to, you know, shake his hand or meet him or get a picture with him. And this is just, he's so good at it. And this video will show you his style because it's just like nobody else, what he can do. Oh, shoot. I forgot I had this in there too. He released, and I know it's too small probably to read, but go check out, I'm sure that if you Google it, you can look up Trump's 20 core promises to make America great again. Enough with this 2025 bullshit. Everybody knows it's not Trump's policies.
Yes.
This is what he released. And I don't know how anybody can argue with any of it.
No.
So,
and share it.
Yeah.
Like get it, copy and paste it everywhere and be like, enough with your 2020 Project 2025 bullshit. This is actually what he stands for. These are the 20 core promises. Share this.
Yeah,
yes.
This is the platform, and this is what needs to be shared.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now here, let's go with the video that I was just introducing because you guys will love this.
President, this is Bunny.
Hi.
Can you tell him the story, please?
I am a Medal of Honor portrait artist. This is Sergeant Major Pat Payne, who you awarded the Medal of Honor. And this is actually his signature.
Do you think I could look like that if you did me?
Absolutely.
Give me that perfect jaw?
Absolutely.
All those muscles and everything else?
Absolutely.
So how did he pass away?
No, he's actually currently still alive.
Oh.
He is
How
currently
old?
active duty. He's about, I think he's in his 40s. He's still maxing out his
Is
fitness
he injured or
exams.
anything?
No, sir. No, he is.
That's unusual.
Yeah,
The Medal of
it
Honor guys
is.
usually are in pretty rough shape, right? Beautiful job you
Thank
did.
you so much. Thank you.
I want to look like that guy.
Mr.
Tell him I said it,
President, Mr.
okay?
President, my son is going into the Army next month.
Oh, wow.
May I get a photo, please?
Come on, get over here. You'll end up being a general. Go ahead.
Can I have
Get
it?
back in office, can I get an internship? I think you could. Is this your mom?
Yeah, may I have the honor to
That's how you
it?
turn out this way. Come on, let's go.
Thank you.
That's adorable.
Give me that baseball.
Sign one for the.
That's all genuine
Where'd you
too,
get the baseball?
right?
Where'd you get it?
Yeah.
Walmart.
Precious. That boy is precious.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Give it to me. Beautiful hair you have. What are you covering your hair up?
I've got the, walk with pride. Thank you.
Hey, Trump, can I take a picture?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's go. Come on, Mom. Come on, get in here. Come on, Mom. When Mom talks, you listen.
Thank you.
When Mom talks, you listen. I love it.
Wonderful. I took 3 for good luck.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
I mean,
I know, right?
He's great at it.
He's
just great at it.
He is. Yeah. And it's all genuine. He's a good dude. It's like people say when they meet him personally, he's just a super good dude, one-on-one.
Cynthia Lee over on Venmo says that Trump video gave me chills and tears. # fight, fight, fight.
That's what we're doing.
All right. We're going to have a schlong today. And that schlong is about just the state of young women. I know that like there's always been sort of this idea that women prefer the bad boy, right? Like that's been the subject of so many movies, that women don't like nice guys, that they always go for like the motorcycle dude, the bad boy. But I think that I wanted to believe that that was less true now, that women actually do want nice guys. But at least according to this absolute skank that some guy interviewed on the street.
A guy can do.
I'm not really into nice guys because I like boys, so I can't really think of anything nice that they can do.
My lucky day, hell yeah. I'm just joking. All right, and what's the worst thing a guy can do?
I guess be nice.
Be nice.
Because sometimes if you're too nice, it gives like, it's like the ick.
Really?
You know? Because it's like, why are you so nice?
Do you like when guys like degrade you type shit? Is that what you like?
Not degrade me, but like, because I feel like if a guy is nice, that means he gets no girls, and that's like a turn off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah. But then I'm on social media like, I want a guy that gets no bitches, but like that's just not true. So.
Okay.
I can't stand her. I just can't. This is the thing. There's so many nice guys out there that are like, this is why I don't, this is why I'm not married. This is why I don't have a girlfriend. It's because of chicks like her.
I mean, that's so sad that she literally is saying, unless a guy is an F boy and getting all kinds of girls, then I get the ick because he's not.
I don't want to be degraded, but I totally want to be degraded. Oh yeah. I can't.
And she said the worst thing a guy could do is be nice. I mean, what? If that is representative of just young girls now, that's so sad.
A lot of them. But these are the girls who do OnlyFans and stuff too, right?
Clearly, she was built for OnlyFans.
But this is the thing. It's like a cultural thing. And I saw a thing about that yesterday where this girl was in an interview and they were asking her about like what she does, and she does OnlyFans and like how much money she makes. And it's just they're so matter of fact about it. It's just our culture. It's just so gross. And it's what we put emphasis on. And they, like this girl was making $300,000 a month doing OnlyFans.
She's God.
About that age of that girl. And it's just like, I cannot wrap my brain around some. And that's the culture. It's just this rotting, disgusting culture where, listen, she's degraded every single day. That's and that is what her priority is. She's like, it's fine. A bunch of men can just look at my boobs and my body all day, my butt, everything else all day for money, and be degraded. And that's what she does. And it's gross. It's so gross.
Did you ever see that movie Mischief?
No.
From way back in the I can't remember all the people that were in it, but essentially it had this nice guy who was like super hot for this like voluptuous girl. And she was into the motorcycle guy. Right. And so the motorcycle guy with the leather jacket looked totally like, Kaniki from Greece, right?
Right.
And so, but usually those storylines always made it so the bad boy actually was nice deep down inside.
Like John Travolta in Greece.
Right, exactly. And so that was, those were the storylines that I remember growing up with and thinking, oh, okay, well, the bad boy actually has this nice side that they're just covering up.
There's always a soft underbelly.
That girl does not want that. That girl does not want the nice. She just wants a guy to treat her as an object. I mean, that's all she wants.
Yeah, that's the thing, is a lot of these girls want to be treated as objects, whereas we grew up with men being men, and they act like men, and they are men, and they do manly things. And then at the end of the day, like behind closed doors, they're very gentle and sweet, and they have those soft underbellies. But when it comes time to be a man, they're men.
Right.
There's no, it's not like it's a twofold thing. It's not like they're just jerks or they're soy boys. And I feel like there's a lot of that now. where it's one or the other. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You can actually have a real man that treats you like a real man. And they can be very gentle and sweet and kind too. And nice to children and animals and old ladies. You know what I mean? They can do all the things, and that exists. At least it did in our generation. I feel like hopefully a lot of people in our generation are raising their boys to be like that. I hope that. I mean, your son is like that. There are a lot of other boys that are like that. It exists. It's just that, man, you can't tolerate that. Like these girls, they want that. A lot of those girls, they want.
Thankfully, like, because all throughout high school, I was constantly like, if we were to game or whatever, and I had Jackson's ear for a minute, I'd be like, that girl's cute. Or I'd point out girls that I thought were cute. And he is so turned off by girls who have a reputation of getting around a lot.
Right.
Oh, she's been passed around. She's used goods. Like it's a reputation girls get. And thankfully, there are boys that still think that's gross. And they don't want to have anything to do with girls who are like that.
They should.
So my God.
It should be that way. Absolutely.
Gross.
Yeah.
Joseph Groshek says, don't feel bad for the females. Imagine what is left for our sons. Yeah, exactly. I know. I mean, these women that are like that they are terrifying to me. Like that. I don't want them anywhere near my kids.
Yeah. And raising a daughter, you just, you raise your daughters to be like, don't be a skank. You don't want to be, don't hang out with the skanks. Don't be a skank. You don't want to be anything like that. You always want to be smart first, and your looks are secondary. That's what you want. And then all these girls who are doing all this stuff, gross. Listen, you don't want to be that person who looks down on other people, right? But at the same time, there's got to be some shame. It's like we always say there needs to be shame attached to certain things. And like this whole OnlyFans culture and just being, there's no shame in that. I feel like there's not a lot of shame with those girls. And then and for her to get on camera and be like, oh yeah, I don't like nice guys. What is wrong with you? Okay. Well, then have fun with all the guys who treat you like garbage the rest of your life. Have fun with that.
Lisa says nice guys is a code word for creeps. What a sane woman wants is a good guy. Okay, so maybe that's fair. Maybe like the younger generation doesn't like the word nice, or that they've changed the meaning of it to mean that it's creepy and not good.
That's fair. I don't know. I honestly don't understand what the difference is.
Yeah. Well, you know how like language is always changing.
Perhaps
just one of those words.
Perhaps. But I hope that my daughter, when she starts dating, that her boyfriend or her significant other is nice to her.
Yeah.
Just hope that he is. Yeah.
Reba says selling their souls. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Totally. All right. A couple more clips just before we get to Dee that I thought were just of interest, because Fauci was on a show recently where he talked about having COVID for the third time. And I just thought this made me laugh out loud when I watched this clip.
Infected about 2 weeks ago. It was my third infection, and I had been vaccinated and boosted a total of 6 times.
I'm sorry, but that is hilarious to me.
Why would he admit that out loud and be proud of that?
I don't know.
He's like, I've been quintuple boosted 18 times over and I've had COVID 3 times. Why would you say that out loud? Why?
What? I literally laughed. Like I heard that and I was like, you are
an idiot.
Moron.
You're a complete idiot. And then all the unvaxxed people are like, you're such a moron.
Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah.
Working Stiff over on Local says, I feel like Trump will win the election, but the Dems will do something to keep him out. I mean, they're already talking about that. Like Jamie Raskin, we showed that clip of him a couple weeks ago where he's like, we'll figure out a way to get him out. I mean, this is disgusting. If they're wanting a war to break out, that would be a great way to do it.
Amen to that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And then one more thing, because this is a guy who is a black guy who decided he wanted to have the bleach blonde hair look. And someone went after him in the most hilarious, unself-aware way.
So a trans woman on TikTok just said to me, and I quote, bleaching your hair won't turn you into a white man. Girl, you don't want to play that game.
Beach. I mean, I cannot. That's hysterical. Oh my God.
Right? Oh
yeah.
My God,
you definitely don't. You definitely don't want to play that.
Let's you want to have that conversation? Because we'll have it.
We'll have it. You guys, just the DD today. I'm never going to Australia. It's just there's too many weird, disgusting animals there. First of all, it's too long of a plane trip for me. Okay, but second of all, every video I see about Australia, besides the Hemsworth brothers being there, there's like gigantic. Everything is gigantic there. I thought everything was big in Texas, but like they have these gigantic spiders. And then I saw this, and I'm like, I'm done.
Well, and I'm irritated
done.
about the apostrophe. If you're a grammar nerd like me, just try to get over that. There's no reason for this apostrophe.
It's not possessive.
It's not possessive.
Stop.
But the fact that these creatures exist at all, like, I wish I want to unknow about this.
Yeah, I do too.
I've been a nasty girl.
I can't. This freaked me out yesterday.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
What is happening? I could not know that alone.
Why is that a thing that exists?
It's because it's Australia. This is what's going on in Australia. What?
Oh my God.
God was like, you know what? I'm just going to put everything whack in Australia.
We're gonna biggest spiders.
We're gonna give them beach worms, like beach snakes that are in the sand.
that is a. I don't know what separates worms from snakes, but that is a snake to me. That's a long, skinny ass snake. And I hate worms too. I mean, they're so gross. Like all the hair standing up right now, all of it.
No,
so gross.
No, reject it.
All right, we're gonna do some talks now, some My Pillow talks, because we got to get brain bleached out.
Get it to go away. Make it go away.
So the first one, I don't know why, but you guys, this rabbit hates playground equipment, and I don't know why, but he hates it. He's so mad at it.
What's he doing to it?
You'll see, because they get close to him, but he's so mad.
He looks like he's humping it.
He's not. He's just angry. He's super angry at this car in particular.
Oh my God, he's so mad. He's having a boxing match with it.
I know. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
Look how fast his little arms go.
God, show us on the doll where the car hurt you. Poor little rabbit. Mr. Name said the car won't start. He's pissed at the car. I love it.
He hit every part of it.
God, he's so mad. I love this video. I've seen this and I absolutely love this video so much. I love it. I want this to happen to me. I want one of my dogs to do this to me, and they won't come in the pool, you guys.
Well, and it's so perfect because this dog's name is Ella, and it looks like my Ella dog, and it's just the warmth.
It's the greatest.
Okay, I'm
the greatest.
Let's stop. I'm destroyed right now.
God, this dog is joy.
Ella, you have to stop now. You're gonna learn.
No.
Maybe say
He's like,
sit.
No, it's not. It's.
I just love that. That is joy right there. The greatest.
Oh my God. Now this last one is no, I'm sorry, there's two more, but this next one is super fast. It's only 6 seconds. And in case it's hard to see for any reason, just know that it's of a kangaroo, and it's a precariously positioned kangaroo who's gotten himself stuck, and you'll see how.
Oh, his balls are stuck. That's not funny. I feel bad for him.
I mean, I think that they were just about to help him, so it's fine.
I feel so bad for him. It probably hurts.
Well, I mean, why did he do that?
I don't know. God bless him. His balls were stuck on the fence. All the guys in our audience are like, "Oh God, ow."
There is a limit to how much tan a white girl should have.
And she reached it about a year ago. She reached it a long time ago, this chick.
So what's funny about this is the response to it, because this guy is
the comments. Did you run to the comments?
No, this is like a duet. This is a duet video.
Okay.
So you'll see her first, and then you'll see a response.
2 years since I left home. Said good luck.
That is a great song. Why are you that color? And what color is that? Tarnished bronze?
just love that he's like, why are you that color?
Why are you that color? That is yes, Leanne, that is a white girl. Technically a white girl. She's actually a tarnished bronze girl now. She is not a white girl anymore.
She's trans. She's transracial. So
right.
I mean, what a hideous tan job that was.
Don't do that. Don't do it.
Anyway, those are your talks for today. It was a long show. It wasn't super long, but it was long.
It ended up being a pretty long show, Mock. You were like, it's going to be a short show. You didn't call that right.
I didn't. I was off today.
We were very chitty chatty today.
But also remember that tomorrow will be the last show of the week.
Right.
Okay. So tomorrow there will be a show, normal time and all that, but it'll be the last show of the week. And then we'll be back on Monday.
Yes. Mock is moving her boy into college this week. Okay, I'm sorry. Just you can just pretend that you're not. Just go la la la. Put your fingers in your ears, and I'll tell everybody. You guys, it's the reason I say that is make sure that you're sending prayers to Mock. Okay, she is not okay.
Not okay.
She is not okay. All right. So she needs all the prayers. So please, if you're a praying person, send double the prayers her way because she's.
I mean, do you see? I have a zit. I have 2 zits because of it.
I know. I get it. My daughter starts high school tomorrow and I'm kind of not okay, but you're really not okay. So you guys, it's been a week. Okay. I'm sorry. There's hair on my microphone. You guys, everybody bring it in. Everybody send prayers to Mock. I'm serious. I implore you. Okay. All right. And we will talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Everybody have a great Tuesday. Bye everybody.